Jimmy's got the average ratings of every season/series of Doctor Who from start to finish.
This, folks, could take some time. Stick with us.
1963, the very first season. And these do not count, by the way. These do not count the missing episodes because they just don't have them.
Sure.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
So 1963 has 6 episodes that we know of. 2 hours, 24 minutes. Average 6.15 million, which is pretty good for a season, for a brand new show. And then 1964, 8.88. That's crazy. Jumped 2.5 million. 1965, Hartnell's last year, almost 10 million views per episode. That is nuts. Then, of course, Patrick Troughton comes in, and who's the best of the classic Who? I don't care what anyone says.
That's debatable.
No, it's not. So 1967, 66. Obviously, a new Doctor is going to, for a brand new show too, after 3 seasons,
Going to drop off.
It's gonna drop. So it's 6.74. Then his 7.25 and 7.12, which is solid for totally switching on the audience. And then starting off again with the brand new Doctor, 6.05, who is John Pertwee, by the way. Then 7.17, 7.96, and how long did he last for? Was it 4 seasons?
I believe so. I believe he got 4 seasons. When
did Tom Baker come in?
74. 74 is...
Pertwee was in it for 5 seasons. 8.53, and then 8.71, and his final season had 9.04 million. Now that, holy crap.
You got to back up there. He is my personal favorite classic Doctor. But
I used to hate him, but once I saw... Because
you were wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong. Once I saw the Time Warrior, that really changed my opinion on him because I actually found I kind of like him quite a bit. 1975, Tom Baker. Starting off with 9.95, already more than anything John Pertwee ever did. 10.69, his second season. Oh my goodness. Then 9.63, 9.1, and then 10.5. Holy shit.
There's a reason he's the most popular classic Doctor. A lot of people grew up watching his shows.
No, it's still Baker 80 to 82.
Then it dropped. And now, hold on. Now, there is a reason behind this. I think a brand new creative team came in because someone left. And then Tom Baker was like, I probably should have won as well. But he didn't. He stayed on for the 2 seasons.
Like I've said before, I have watched every bit of Doctor Who I have been able to access to. So I've watched almost all of Classic Who, other than the cartoon revivification, I don't know, revivals. So I can't remember what would have caused such a downpour.
So then it goes to his lowest, 5.56, then 6.8. And then his regeneration into Peter Davison to 9.23 his first season, and then 2 million drop. 7.07 to 7.18. And then someone else came in, right? He was only up for 3 seasons.
Colin Baker came in 85.
Colin Baker, possibly the worst of the classic Who. 7.12. Here's the 7.12, and then dropped to 4.8, and then almost 4.9, and then what's his face? Sylvester McCoy.
He joined in 87.
Yes.
87 with 4.8. So almost 4.9. And then 5.25, 5.43, and then topping it off with it was 4.31, my bad. But here's the movie. 9.08 million for the movie. That's why wasn't it low? They say it was low ratings, but it had 9.08 million
because people didn't like it. So it was rated low. It got decent ratings on Fox, I believe, but it was low rated.
Paul McGann deserves so much more. He needs his own single season. I think that'd be great.
That's why Big Finish really helped most of them.
Here's the thing. Now we're starting with New Who, 2005.
Yep.
8.08 million for Christopher Eccleston. Besides season 5, I think my single favorite season of Doctor Who is season 1. Sometimes it even rivals season 5. Season 2, David Tennant, 7.83. To be fair, not the best season of Doctor Who. Not at all.
Well, he had Rose weighing him down.
You watch your goddamn mouth. Oh my goodness.
Aside from maybe the return of the Cybermen and then the 2-part finale and Impossible Planet and Satan Pit, yeah, there wasn't really a lot of best episodes ever.
And then season 3,
Martha.
David Tennant second, 7.96, which had more. And by the way, almost every episode in this season is a banger. There's so much with this season that is so good. And I put myself through some pain this past week. I rewatched the Sontaran Stratagem and the Poison Sky. And it's not as bad as I remember.
I never thought it was bad, so.
Then right after that, series 4.
Donna.
8.41 million average. Oh my goodness.
Everybody loves Donna. If there's a person we've never talked about this before. If somebody says that they don't like Donna, that's a red flag, people. You run away. They're not a person you associate with.
Donna's the best companion in the history of Doctor Who. That's just a fact.
This is the only time that's coming up after this season with Donna. We have some big things. Everything's coming back. You have Rose's return for the finale, and then you get a special. You get 3 specials.
Yes,
look at the ratings.
The Dead Planet, and it should actually be considered 4. The Dead Planet, then the I'm sorry. No, the next Doctor's counted on this as well.
Wouldn't that be counted as the Christmas?
Shouldn't this?
Because if you look at 2005 has 14 episodes, despite the fact it was a 13-episode series.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with the New Year's shit until later.
So it's probably still a part of this one.
Despite the fact the Christmas ones are always technically the start of the next season. For some reason in the ratings, they've listed them as part of the previous one. End of Time Part 2 is counted as 2010 because it was 1st of January. Because you see it has 15 episodes there. That's why.
So it's okay. That's
it goes by the actual year. It doesn't really go by the actual season, start to finish.
All right, Christmas special is part of 2008. Then what's in here is the Dead Planet.
Yeah, Planet of the Dead, Waters of Mars, and End of Time.
Part 1.
Yeah,
and that had 10.7 million views per episode. That's crazy.
While I do like David Tennant, and I definitely enjoy his Doctors, we have to accept that he is the Tom Baker of New Who.
I think he's just the greatest Doctor of all time. I don't see your point.
I mean, I personally disagree, but then we see the decline.
So here's 2010. Again, this is still End of Time Part 2 is in there, so that might bump it up. What? That was probably another 10 million episode.
People definitely came in for the second part.
Yeah.
All right.
David's last episode, the Master, the technically the first return of the Time Lords.
Timothy Dalton.
Yes. Season 5, which I consider the greatest season of Doctor Who ever. God damn, the season's so good. With 8.3 million average, which is better than David Tennant's start. That's for sure. As you can see right here, 7, and then he had an 8. Now, then again, David Tennant did the actual groundwork up to Matt Smith, so people were still sticking around. Yeah, 8.3, 7.75, and to be fair, that's about right. That season was a lot of hits and a lot of misses. There was like no in between in that season. I think.
A lot of the confusing River Song stuff that really have people kind of missing on, and so yeah, I understand.
And then his final season. Oh wait, no, this is right here, 2012. Which
Didn't they
was
split?
The
Didn't
half.
they split it?
Yeah, this is the first half. 8.28 million, which is solid. And then the other half was 8.09. I don't know, man. That split, ever since they did the split, I think it's kind of hurt the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Series 8.
2014.
Which was 13 episodes, 7.34 million views per average, which is fair because if you think about it, a lot of people were there for like the young next hot doctor, and they got an old Peter Capaldi, and so a lot of them dipped out.
A lot of the episodes weren't. They were kind of
I can understand that. Pardon me. People started having problems with, especially Clara at that point. They didn't appreciate how she was turning out. They didn't care about Danny Pink before.
I did. I loved Danny. I think
a lot of people didn't.
Stayed longer.
I cannot like whenever I was watching the show, because at that point I had well caught up and I had been watching for years, and I liked looking at discussions. People kept complaining about Danny Pink. They did not like him. At that point, you're right. The people just were keeping the Doctor young, like Peter Davison age. And so it's, I don't know. I love Capaldi. I'm not going to.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think
He's
Peter Capaldi had the potential to possibly be the greatest, but I think Moffat's like writing like his tank going to empty a lot of the time didn't help him. So I think he had the
disagree to disagree.
No, I think I love Peter Capaldi. But what this shows is just people wanted the young, hot doctor, and they didn't get it, so they bowed out. I mean, because you can see next is 6.16 million.
You still have the problem within that season. People weren't caring for Clara. A lot of people were happy to see her go.
So was I.
But you also...
I liked her. She's underrated, but she needed to go because she started to be the doctor, and people... no one's
well, that was
only the
at that point.
At
that point, that was the character, and that's another video to go into to really dissect into that. But she left.
If your character is to be another character, that's stupid. I'm sorry. The Return of Dr. Mysterio.
Yep,
and that was only 7.83. By the way, I have that single DVD on my shelf right now. Because they sold it at the dollar store. I was like, there's Doctor Who. What? At the dollar store? Cool. I checked it out. I was like,
this makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep, this makes sense.
I was like, oh, okay. But I still bought it. It's Doctor Who.
But it's worth making a note of. Clara was gone. You just had Peter Capaldi. And this is what they were checking out.
Then it goes to his final season, season 10.
Bill.
5.64 million. Now, the reason we came on here is because I wanted to point this out in particular. His final season went to 5.74. Then Jodie Whittaker season's right here. It had 7.96, and majority of that is the 11 million view episode of her being the first Doctor, and then quickly went down. Quickly went down to about 5. So, I mean, if we really want to be honest, it's really 5. It's about 5. The dreaded Series 12. Which had a 5.4 million view average. And this is why I'm not counting this one right now, because we'll get into it later.
I mean, it's still ongoing, so the ratings aren't accurate to the entire year.
The thing I wanted to show is if Russell T Davies didn't come back, I have a feeling it would have been canceled relatively soon after this season, or another season came out and it would have been canceled, because 5 million average, 5 million if you don't include the 11 million view episode, Jodie's first episode, and then 5 million viewed for Capaldi's last season. Because if we go up, 89, 4.3 million view average, 5 million, 5.25, so 5.25 million view average, 4 million view. That's 4 seasons of really, really bad views for the BBC. So let's just say average for this pass would have been about 4.5 for 4 straight seasons. Come back down here to present day, we got 5 million average. Going to this past episode, what came out this week, Doctor Who Flux episode 4, the ratings are now 3.45 million views.
I feel like that could have been because of last week's episode, because the majority did not like it.
It is.
Yeah. So I don't think they would have bothered to come back for the next one. Even if it's the Weeping Angels, I don't think there's, why should I bother? The episode I just watched was not good. I didn't like it. The majority didn't like it, so why should I continue? This is a shame because it was actually a good episode, the one with the Village of the Angels. But yeah, I can see why it's at 3.45 million.
So I was just showing the trend of, if you look at the data, after 4 seasons of under 5 million views, you're an asshole. Under 5, so about 5 million view average to 4 million view average. After 4 seasons of that, 3 seasons of that, it was canceled. This is Jodie Whittaker's 3rd season. It's now it's under 4. I could see it being canceled, but Russell T Davies coming back, saving the show.